This is Frank Islam, Chairman and CEO of FY Investment Group, and your host of Washington Calling, where we interview leading voices from business and politics that impact you, the viewer. Today, our guest is Mr. A.J. Phillip. Mr. Phillip has committed his life to the cause of education and social upliftment of socially and economically disadvantaged children. Thank you for coming to our show, Mr. Phillip, and welcome to our show. And thank you for all you do to make a profound and meaningful difference in people's lives, and especially for the children
Thank you.
who are the hope of tomorrow. So tell us a
Thank you
little
very
bit
much.
about your. Go ahead, Mr. Phillip.
Yeah, my name is AJ Philip. I come from the state of Kerala in India. I live in Delhi. I have been a journalist for most of my life and associated with Deepalia for the last 30 years.
My
And
goodness.
I was president of Deepalia for about 25 years, and now I am the chief executive of Deepalia for the last 4 years. Deepalia is an organization set up by seven South Indians from Kerala, and the purpose of Deepalia was to aid the poor. Deepalia means house of Deepam. Deepam means light, house of light. That is what. So it was set up 40 years ago by seven people in Delhi. Today it is Delhi's largest operational NGO. When I say operational NGO, we have many activities going on in various places in India. For instance, although we are based in Delhi, we have programs running in Delhi, Haryana, Uttarakhand, Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra, and Uttarakhand. So this we have on our rolls about 8,000 students as of now, and we have about 340 employees working on a regular basis for Deepalia.
Wow. So, Mr.
Yeah.
Phillip, what inspired you to do this? Why are you doing something so upliftment of not our society but for the whole world? You're doing, your cause is noble. What you're doing is something that we should all cherish, nourish, and nurture. So what
Yeah.
inspired you to do
I,
this?
yeah, I was born and brought up in a middle class family. And
Okay.
what brought me to Delhi was education. So education is what impacted me, what changed my life. So I have a duty and a commitment to give education, to spread the values of education to more and more people. So I find that in India, there are a lot of people who are not getting the benefit of education. That is why our
Mhm.
literacy rate is very low. So whatever little a person can do for the upliftment of society, one should do. That is what I firmly believe. And that is the noble purpose for which Deepalia has been functioning all these years.
Well, very well said. And as I understand, the motto of your organization has been and continues to be every child deserves a chance. Uh, so, what have you done? Is this an empty slogan or is it more than that?
Yeah. See, when we started the five students and one teacher. This was in 1979, and over the
Okay.
last 40 years, we have been able to educate more than 350,000 children, and
Oh,
they got education. They would not have got the education but for the presence of Deepalia. And these children were all children living in slum areas. They were very poor, and they were living in really slum area conditions. So we have been able to educate a lot of them, about, as I said, 350,000 children in Delhi, Haryana, and other places. So that is something which we consider as an achievement. And I must also tell you that we are also in the government sector. For instance, I can tell you a very interesting story. About 15 years ago,
yes.
we wanted to develop the habit of saving among women. So what we did was
Okay.
we formed groups of self-help groups of women. 10 women would form one self-help group. What we did was, if a woman is able to save 1 rupee a day, that means if she is able to save 30 rupees, Deepalia will contribute 30 rupees. So that will make her saving a month 60 rupees. And the condition of women was such that most of these women would not be able to save even 5 rupees a month. So that was the condition. Today, over the last 15 years, we have about 16,000 women who are members of our self-help groups. At one time, they were all women. Most of them were illiterate. Today, all the 16,000 women go to the bank, they can check their passbook, they know how much interest has been calculated, they know how to organize a meeting, they know how to write the minutes, they know how to conduct elections, and they know how to, how to start micro enterprises. Among these 16,000 women, they have started more than 8,000 microfinances, small units, small businesses they have started. So that is something which we have done.
Well, Mr. Phillips, where do you get the money to support an organization like this? What does the government give it to you? Did the NGO gives you to you? The philanthropists give it to you? What's the source of your income?
Yeah, unfortunately, we do not get any money from the government of India or from any government. What we do is people have been supporting us. For instance, I can tell you about one lawyer in Delhi. This lawyer started contributing 2,000 rupees a month for us, and over the years, today he is giving us nearly 3 lakh rupees. That is one example. 3 lakh is a big sum for a person to give every month. That is what we get. And we have, for instance, last week, 1 lakh rupees from a person in the US. Her husband died, and in her will that Deepali should be given $1 lakh. 1 lakh rupees. So she sent us that rupees just last. So that is the kind of support that we get. Of course, we also get support from corporates. Yeah, in India, private companies, big private companies are supposed to do CSR programs. So they give us CSR programs. We do CSR programs for them. So that is also one way of one source of income. And we also have the habit of enabling people to enable others, which means you contribute money to us, maybe small amount, even those small amounts, big amount.
So, Mr. Phillip, what kind of challenges do you think that the NGOs face in India? And you subscribe to the notion, the person that you just mentioned who has given so much money, as President Kennedy once said, to whom much is given, much is expected. It's much more rewarding to give than to make any money.
Yes, I think it is more rewarding to give than to get. And unfortunately in India, many people who have the money, they are not willing to contribute. They are not willing to give. So that is one problem. I always say that in India, there are millions of people who are educated people. And if an educated person, a person who is well off, if he supports one child, it can transform the country. If every educated person, every person who has a job, person who has something to rely on, if he supports the education of just one student, maybe one related to him, maybe a neighbor, maybe belonging to a church, maybe a person belonging to the nearby mosque, whatever be the religion or whatever be the situation, another person, India's education scenario would be vastly different.
Well, very well said. The 1%, one person can make a difference, and they should make a difference. So tell me a little bit about the Indian diaspora, NRI, how they can help in alleviating the challenges that the underprivileged children face in India. When you say underprivileged, then you have these children have regardless their caste, creed, religion, race, background, and belief. They come from all corners of India's vast country, correct?
Yes. Yeah, underprivileged people are, need to be supported. Unfortunately, the government has not been, encouraging the NGO sector. The NGOs are against the government. I think, this government has some such belief. So that is not true. There are, many good NGOs, as there are bad NGOs also. In India, there are millions of NGOs. Some of them may be bad, but that doesn't mean that all the NGOs are bad. I can tell you about Deepali in this sector for the last 40 years. Our goal is transparency. We do whatever we do, it is done in a very transparent manner. I can tell you about Deepali, and why people are trusting Deepali is because of the transparency. Today we have on our rolls staff who studied in Deepali. They would not have got education but for Deepali. Today they are working as in senior positions in my organizations. In my organization, at least 10% of our staff are from the alumni. This is the kind of transformation that has happened to the society through us. I won't say that Deepala is a small organization when you consider the overall picture in the country, but what little we can do, we have been doing. So this kind of organizations need to be supported so that they can do much for the country. And I believe that the NRIs, the non-resident Indians, can play a significant role by helping NGOs like us. For instance, now I am building a school in one of the most backward regions of India. So according to the Niti Aayog, which is according to Niti Aayog, which is the central government organization, the backward district in the country is Nuh in Haryana. And in Nuh is a Muslim majority area. In Nuh, there is one village called Gusbeti. Gusbeti is the most backward region in the most backward district of India. And there we have set up a school. We set up this school about 15 years ago. We today have about 1,300 students on our rolls. Initially, when we started the school, the people were not willing to send children, particularly girl children. Today, we have about 45% of our students are girls. Not only that, the demand for school education has been increasing. Although the parents are very poor, they want their children to be educated. Today, as I said, we have 1,300 students, and we are setting up a school building. This building, we want to construct one building. This building will have about 96,000 square feet. Unfortunately, we have been able to construct only the first floor, which is about 33,000 square feet. Now we are constructing another 16,000 square feet on the first floor. We need to complete this building. We need about $1.5 million to complete this particular building. When this building is completed, I can tell you that this will be the school in the whole of Nuh district in Haryana. And we will be able to educate 3,000 students. Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, the Indian government does not encourage the India diaspora to help the people because they're sort of a little ignorant, and in some cases they're arrogant. They don't appreciate what the NRIs can help to India to achieve its fullest potential and help people like yourself. So it's a very sad irony, and rather than being a divisive, they need to come together to help achieve their goals. Tell us, you don't have to comment if you don't like to comment, but the fact of the matter is it's a sort of a delicate situation. I want to talk to you a little bit about, you mentioned about the girls. Why the girls have so much dropout rate, and what can be done among the girls? And girls are about 50% of the population. They are the best in the world. If you help them, they can do wonders. They can make a difference. Give them some oxygen to breathe, and they will make a difference. So tell us why there's such a dropout rate and what can be done to alleviate that problem.
Yeah, see, we as I said, our school is situated in one of the most backward regions, and there the all illiterate. Our students are first generation students, and there the problem is that the parents believe that once a girl attains the age of puberty, then she should be married off. So they look for bridegrooms for the daughters rather than sending them to education. So what we have been doing is we have been convincing them. We have been taking people to that place. For instance, recently I took a Supreme Court lawyer and a practicing lawyer, a young girl, a Muslim girl. I took her there and introduced them to the girls and parents there. And a little before that, one IPS girl, a Muslim girl, she got into the Indian police service, and she is a very meritorious. I took her to the school so that encouraged to send their children to school. So when community workers to their homes, their houses, and persuade them to send their children back to the school. So we are succeeding. Today, there are children who are in class 9, 10, 11, which means they are in the puberty period, but they are now attending the class. So over a period of time, this problem will end. Maybe another generation, this problem will be there.
Very well said. You're doing a great job in order for the girls to achieve their potential and get them educated so they could be productive citizens of that nation. And that's very, very important.
Yeah.
You talked a little bit about the affordability and accessibility of higher education. That does remain India's biggest challenge. What can be done to bridge the gap?
Yeah, unfortunately, during my time, higher education was relatively cheap. Now, with the privatization of education, higher education has become unaffordable to an overwhelming majority of people. This is a bad policy. Earlier, I have a relative. He did his post-graduation in medicine and his monthly fees was only 16 rupees. That means not even half a dollar. That was the kind of fee that he paid, monthly fees he paid. Today, a poor man has to study in a medical college, he has to spend lakhs of rupees, which he cannot afford.
Right.
As a result, the poor is deprived of higher education in the country. And the government is not setting up enough colleges, and even where the government has like Jawaharlal Nehru University, they are now going to increase the fees. If the fees is increased, then the poor would be affected.
Mr. Philip, there are a lot of people in the audience watching you, and they love what you're doing. And there are people in India, people all over the world, in the Gulf country, in America, North America, are watching this show. How did they get hold of you? What's your point of contact? And what can they do to help you, support you, what you're doing, and to uplift the children and the female and the socially and economically disadvantaged people?
Yeah, Deepalia is an organization. We can seek help from people. If anybody helps Deepalia, I can assure you that we utilized only for the purpose for which it will be raised. And unfortunately, there are people who are willing to give money to set up temples, money to set up mosques, money to set up churches, but few people are willing to pay for education of the poor. If every person is able to give money to educate one person at least, we can transform the country. And as far as Deepalia is concerned, Deepalia has a website, www.org. We have a website. We can receive funds from any source in India or abroad. We have the FCRA account. And we also recently set up a foundation in the US. It is called the Deepalia Foundation Incorporated in the US. If anybody gives money to Deepalia Foundation Incorporated in Houston, the money will reach us, and the money will be utilized for the education of the poor. And those who give funds to the Deepalia Foundation will also get the benefit of tax exemption there. That is what I believe. Yeah, and that initiative was the initiative of Deepalia Friends. Yes. It is not a Deepalia outfit.
Very well said, Mr. Philip.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the people can get an IRS tax exemption.
Yeah, yes, you are
people
right. And this initiative was taken by some Deepalia Friends. It is not a Deepalia outfit. The initiative was taken by some people in the US, and people who know Deepalia, people who know about the transparency of Deepalia, they took the initiative and set up this foundation. And through that foundation, we would like to, do some educational programs in India. At the moment, what I need most is about, $1.5 million over the next 2-3 years to complete the construction of the building that we have already started.
That's your dream.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
And you
yes,
want
that is
to.
My dream.
Do you come to United States quite frequently?
No, I was there in October last when the foundation was inaugurated in Houston. So that was my third visit. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, as you know, there's a lot of organization in the United States that can help you to achieve what you're doing in India, and also the fact that in the Gulf country, especially UAE, Saudi Arabia, and the Kuwait, and some other countries, there are a lot of people from the background of the Kerala, another part of the India. And they're fairly well off. They should be able to help you a little bit.
Yeah, I hope so. We get some support. Yeah.
So can you spell the name of your organization for the webpage so people understand what it is, because you went too fast for me. What's the name of the organization again, Mr. Philip?
www.deepalaya, DEEPALAYA.org.
Okay.
Deepalia.org.
Okay, so so for American audience, I want them to know what it is, and they can log on to it, and they can also reach people in the organization to help you, to support you, what you're doing, and especially for the socially economically disadvantaged children. So thank you very much for all you do to make a difference. And this is Frank Islam
Thank
wishing you
you.
great week.
Thank you, Frank Islam, for the opportunity that you have given me. Thank you.
You are most welcome, sir. And thank you very much for watching. This is Frank Islam wishing you a great week.